Welcome back to Let's Play Banished. In the last episode we started quarrying and mining iron. Actually we're not mining iron, we're mining coal. So doesn't seem to be arriving anywhere. So bring out your tools and let's play Banished. I have no idea why we don't have this coal anywhere near. I mean, it shouldn't be used by the people to warm their houses. However, now that we have this, we have our own coal source. I want to have steel tools again, just because they last longer. The blacksmith is not going to make anything right now because it's we are where we want the tool storage to be. This is doing okay. This is not receiving the stones it needs. This is also still not receiving stones, but we're having a lot of new houses. We're having a lot of... we're actually having more homes and families now. That's just great. And I also don't have my countdown set up again. I just did. And I gave it the whole 15 minutes, so I hope you appreciate that. Okay, this is currently the third episode I'm recording in a row, which means I will probably do. Actually, I'm considering to do another after that, but I'm really not sure about it. Yeah, it's winter, but I'm not too worried about our food. I mean, it's dropping. Of course, it's dropping because we're not gaining too much. We have this producing a bit, and we have the forestal buildings producing a bit, but we don't have the fields. And that is something you always need to keep in mind when you farm. You don't get anything out of it until autumn, and unless, of course, I tell them to harvest early. I also need to rotate crops again. So this is a corn field, you will be a bean field, and you'll be a pumpkin field. Again. Yeah, I know it's not necessary, but I like doing it. Crop rotation is one of the... I think it's one of the oldest... not one of the oldest, but it's a relatively old... concept in agriculture, if memory serves. I think people invented it during the Middle Ages, or they realized it was good if they did that. The 3 field or 3 crop rotation was a thing back then. I'm not sure what they rotated though, because I'm quite sure it wasn't potatoes, because those were only discovered after the American continent was discovered, but I think beans were part of it for the reasons I already talked about in the last, or in one of the earlier videos. I think beans, I think wheat, and I think one year it was just bare field, so the soil could recover. Or it was used as a meadow, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's something that was done during the Middle Ages, if memory serves, and it has been doing well. I mean, nowadays we don't need it anymore because we fertilize our fields, but back then people would do it that way, and it would be better than just planting the same thing over and over again, because they realized then that the yield was going down. That's something they didn't need to do in ancient Egypt, by the way, because they had those Nile floods every year. So the soil was fertilized every year again, which means they didn't notice the soil was losing nutrients. Or maybe they did, but I'm not sure if they had a concept of that in ancient Egypt. Not a historian. Okay. I'm not too well versed in all this history, so take those things with a grain of salt. And if you're doing your homework on that, please don't use me as a reference there. I used to be quite good at history in school, but it's something that I have not looked in too deep. So, again, I'm not an expert on it. I wouldn't consider myself any sort of expert. And also, why are we having this smoking thing if we're mining coal? I don't want you to burn the coal you're mining right here, mind you. Yeah, we're down to 99%, so a quarry is exhausted fairly quick if you mine it, and especially if you mine it with a full 30-person workforce. It gets used up quite fast, and you don't end up with many stones. I'm not sure how much we'll get out of it. We could actually check that. We have 1%, so this times 100 would be 2,600 stones, which is quite a lot. I'm not sure how many stones we've used up in all our building processes here. And I'm quite sure 2,600 would get us quite far. I mean, one house costs you 40 stones, so 2,600 stones would be quite a lot of houses. I think we used about 100 stone in this graveyard. Glad we actually don't have to pay stones or to use stones to build those gravestones. So yeah, I think this was fairly expensive with 150 or so stones, the town hall. I can't check again how much it cost because actually, can I? Nope, I can't. I can't even select this anymore. Because again, you can only have one town hall. Yeah, this is also producing during winter, although I'm not sure if it goes with... if it produces less during winter. It doesn't seem so. We also ate a whole lot of mutton more than last year. I think that was due to an infestation or something. At least it might be. A whole lot of eggs, a whole lot of chicken. Oh well. I don't feel like doing more pastures because they don't seem to be as productive in terms of food unit produced per year, per area. Yeah, I mean, we're using about as much area as a field here, and this is only producing... Well, actually it's producing as much food as this. Which is kind of weird. But yeah, actually, okay, it's producing 50% more here. We're getting 1,500 out of this and 1,000 food out of this. I'm not surprised by that. I was honestly sure this would be outproducing everything else by a large margin. But it doesn't. Which is also fine with me, because I think this might have been nerfed in one of the past patches I've missed. Because I remember farming being something that outproduced everything, or that could basically fill your stores for the entire year. Which is a somewhat accurate representation of how farming works. When you get a lot of food out of it. That's why we're still doing it. But yeah, it might have been overpowered. I think I had years where I got 3,000 food out of a field. So, yeah. I'm not sure what to talk about, so I'm probably gonna stop recording after this episode, just because I also need to upload them, and that's gonna take a while. Something I still didn't get to record is Papers, Please. I'm definitely trying to look into that. When am I going to look into that? Probably not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night. Although I still have to write my internship report, which is also a bit of a pain in the arse, although it's mostly done. I just have to wrap it up, add some more pictures, and yep, then it's basically done. I mean, I could probably send it in as it is now, but I want to make it a more rounded off thing. So it's more complete. It's just for my sake. I mean, it does get graded, so better put in the extra effort and go the extra mile and make it look a bit prettier and get a real good mark on it. After all, I'm doing a master degree now, so it kind of does matter how I end, or on which average degree I end this. Or not degree, which average grade I end it on. I'm not sure if I'll go PhD after it. I mean, I'd kind of like to, but I don't know yet. And if I go for PhD and if everything works out, I'll be happy. If it doesn't, then my master degree will be what any potential future employer would look at and would probably care about. So I might want to just put in some effort. And I'm not actually someone who likes putting in a lot of effort into things. I mean, I'm lazy, and I admit that freely. I'm terribly lazy. And, yeah, it just happens. But yeah, even I can really work on something if I want to, and if I feel it is worth my time. That's kind of a big thing. I need to feel something is worth my time before I put work into it. Because if it isn't, then screw it, I'm not working on it. Simple as that. It might be a bad habit or a bad motivation, so really don't use me as a reference here. I'm also yawning a lot because it's kinda late. I came home from work earlier. It's currently about 11:15 at night. I'll be busy tomorrow. I will visit my mother in the morning, getting my hair cut, and also free lunch, which is great. And also fetching some documents I need for I basically need for a government grant. I'm still about to request it. She finally did that part. It took her half a year. And yeah, I'm gonna fetch that because I don't want to have it mailed around. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyway to have my hair cut, so I just decided it would be a good time, and I can just pick it up and take it back home and add it to the pile of paper I have sitting around here, waiting to be handed in. It has to be handed in anyway, so I'm gonna do that. What else is there to be? And yeah, I'm gonna do that, then I'll be to home. I have to do some laundry as well. It's one of the things that you don't realize as a child or while you're young and while you have your parents do it, but laundry takes a lot of time. Not that much, but it has to be done a lot of times, and I think you learn to appreciate your parents' work or your mother's work, especially. Not sure if your father's doing the laundry, then you appreciate that as well. But you learn to appreciate it more when you actually have to do it yourself. I mean, you realize, okay, there are no pixies or fairies or gnomes doing your laundry and putting clean laundry into your clean clothes into your cupboard. No, this is all somebody working, and it's just, you realize it's a lot of work and somebody puts in a lot of time. I mean, I'm not even folding up my stuff nowadays. I basically live off the dryer. And we have a merchant here. Let's see. FNLD. Bugger off. Just no. Will you get the message? I should have sold him some stones and hope he actually sinks his stupid ship. I hate this person. I'm beginning to hate him. I mean, he's basically blocking us from getting the merchants we want. I'm not sure how he does it, but I'm sure he does it. I also didn't pay attention to see if this was actually properly harvested last year. I'm just assuming it was. We can still look at it. Look at that, there was a tree falling over. They do that from old age as well. Which reminds me, how's our herbalist doing here? Not too well. Yeah, I have no idea how you make trees produce herbs or not. I think I read it was basically the old trees that were generated with the map would be the ones that produced herbs and the rest would not. However, since trees do just topple over at a certain age, I don't think that is the entire truth. I mean, it would mean that at some point you would be completely unable to gather any kind of herbal medicine, which would not be good in the long run. I can also afford 8 fishermen now, which hopefully will give us a bit more food variety. You know, the spice of life and all that. Nomads have arrived at the town hall. Let's actually let them in. Nomads, 14, we'll allow them in. They are at the boarding house now, so we need more homes. We badly need more homes here. I wish I had a seed merchant, because I would absolutely love to have those nomads in here. I think we got a whole lot of children there. Let's see what we got. We got some laborers, children, 2 children, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, and 1 laborer, which kinda bums me because those are uneducated. Overview. Yeah, we're dropped to 87% educated people. But we got 5 health points again. And if things go bad, we might actually have to... I think we might want to build another hospital over here. Because people can just die on the way to the hospital. So let's sort that out before I end the video. Okay, put this right here. Yeah, that needs a lot of stone and a lot of resources in general, but it's worth it. You'll definitely consider it worth it once you have some sort of disease breaking out. Okay, lots of students coming in here. Always good to see. Okay, anyway, it's time to break off the video. How many builders do we have for that? 2. So I can put 2 guys here back into the laborer pool. And now I'm going to cut the video, so I'll see you next time. Bye!